need some free stuff, Dante.
You said what?
We need some free stuff.
Free stuff?
Yeah.
You're supposed to do with the freaking sponsors, bro. That's all you.
You gotta help me with it.
You have so many jobs, you have yet to complete one of them.
Dante, you have so many jobs you've yet to complete.
You still not. Thank you for tuning into the Soapbox. Here's your boy Sunny Tay. We got Karan in the
Oh,
building.
now Dante wants to change up his voice.
AKA Amal. With the
up,
what you wearing now?
Don't worry about what I'm wearing, Dante.
What you wearing?
To the left, we have the lovely Solange back again. Thank you, Solange, for being here.
Yeah, it's always
and
good to
we
be
have
here.
we have a. Thank you, Dante. We have a guest, another guest. I'm gonna let you introduce her.
We got the lovely Shelby here in the building.
Hey,
How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks for coming out.
How's your quarantine been?
It's been good. It was really chill until as of recently. My life is kind of flipped upside down, so
Talk about it.
Damn.
for real.
We'll definitely get into it.
How was your day, Karan? How was your weekend?
Um,
Without hanging out with me again.
it was. I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. I mean, it's just like I try to get myself on a routine now, so I'm not just like wandering around. But yeah, it's going pretty good. The weather's nice, and we're back at your house recording
Yes,
for the
we
first
are,
time
and
in 3
outside.
months.
Facts, 3 months. 3 months.
So thank you to the Bellows for letting us be here.
Yeah,
It's a
shout out to
beautiful day.
Mom Dukes. It's good.
Hopefully we can jump in the pool after, which probably
Maybe.
not gonna happen. But
Nah.
apparently
Solange, how you
Solange
been
got it.
after a week from not seeing you?
Chilling, living life, working.
I hear that. Where I want to start with this.
How you doing, Dante?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. I feel a lot better.
A lot
Actually,
better?
since I went out recently, I feel a lot better.
Where'd you go?
Nowhere. I just started driving. I went to the store,
Oh, okay.
and then I saw some old friends, and it was really dope.
All right.
So it just felt good being around people that I saw. I was gonna pull up to Henry's, bro, but I was like, that's like on the other side of town, and I was in like Middletown, and I just didn't feel like driving to Goshen, even though it's right
Journey.
there.
Yeah.
You didn't feel like taking that extra 10-minute drive?
I didn't. Shelby, you were the ones that organized the protest in Monroe, right?
Yes.
So how did they ask you to do, or you just like wanted to just?
So no, how it started from a tweet. I had noticed that a lot of protests were happening in New York City. The Black Lives Matter movement was picking up a lot, and it was being shown all over the news. And I was like, can we please do a protest in Monroe? Please. Like, I know there's racism that exists in this town. I've had my own experiences of microaggressions and racist encounters. There needs to be some kind of change brought here, or some kind of like demonstration, awareness. Like, Black people are here and we're upset. And also, I feel like small towns are kind of overlooked when it comes to social movements, but especially like in textbooks and things like that, they don't really focus on it. It's more of like the big cities and what they do, but small town movements are what help generate those bigger movements and what help, keep this movement, all movements going and sustaining them.
Okay. So how was the protest in Monroe? I didn't really go, but I heard that it went very well.
It was crazy. That day, I had a lot of people like in my DMs, like, I don't know if it's gonna happen, like, because we were getting opposition. So,
Oh yeah, I heard there was like low-key threats.
yeah, we got death threats. People were threatening to come out with their M4 guns and shoot the heads of the protesters to come and protect their local businesses because they thought we were gonna loot because of what they were seeing on TV, which is absurd. Absurd. There's pizza shops and Chinese food stores. What are we gonna do? Like, steal dough? I don't know what they were really expecting. And I actually saw on the way there, this like glass store had boarded up his windows the day of the protest. Like, they weren't playing. And before we did the protest, we had to meet with the mayor of Monroe. And when we met with the mayor, just to let him know like where we were gonna march, what our route was, and things like that for traffic.
Yeah.
And he actually shut off a whole street for us so that we could like meet in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah, it was dope. So I was like, thank you for that. And it
How long
turned
was
out
it?
well. It was about 2 hours, not too long, or an hour. We walked around the whole pond, because there's 2 ponds in Monroe. So we walked around the 2 ponds twice and had some words of encouragement and a little prayer, and that was it. But there wasn't much. Yeah.
Damn, 2 hours. What's going on in Goshen, man?
Is there anything you would do differently let's say if you guys had another protest, or did everything just go according to plan? Everything was pretty smooth.
Honestly, everything went according to plan, and I was overwhelmed by how many people came out,
It was
because
a lot.
I heard it was a lot of
700
people.
people. Yeah,
wow.
700?
Really?
700 people.
Let's go, Monroe.
Yeah.
Facts. Let me get a pulse back.
Yeah. Well,
That's a lot.
It was people from all parts of the 845. They just had heard about it through social media, word of mouth. And I can the only thing that I can think about for the people who gave us all that opposition and all of that crap was that they did help, generate word of mouth even more. So people everywhere were hearing about it, from Poughkeepsie, Middletown, Goshen. It was really cool.
any publicity is good publicity.
Exactly.
That's a fact. That's a fact. The one thing that I'm what I love about all this movement is that a lot of people, like, shit is getting, like, finally out from the dark. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people in 845 really standing up and talking about how, yo, so and so over here was racist, blah blah, did blah 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 this to me, and like every town is also doing it. So I see Monroe is doing it a lot.
Yeah.
And I feel like they probably started it and probably they probably started a wave of, like, other people get the confidence to finally speak up about what's been going on. So how do you feel about, like, everything finally getting back open into, like,
I'm happy. I'm excited. I feel like this is, like, we're living in a time of history, of a time of revolution. People are finally not afraid to speak up anymore. People are willing to listen. I think it's really exciting. My friend Sky, she started that whole movement about calling people out. And
Wait, Sky from Goshen?
No, she's from Sky Herrera.
Okay.
Oh, I know Sky.
Yeah, she helped organize the protests in Monroe too. So after that, we also, so I'll tell the timeline. So following the protest, people were very, emotional, very inspired, and they wanted to keep the momentum going. So Sky started to call people out on Twitter that she had personally known that said racist remarks back in high school, or let people say racist remarks back in high school. So she was saying that basically it was her, like, I don't know, she just got inspiration to do it. She said it was time for these people to get called out, because they can't be our police officers anymore. They can't be our doctors. We're moving into a world where, everybody is welcome. Racial and prejudice biases are not going to be accepted anymore. So she called out people that she knew, and those people got really upset and, of course, were defensive. Nobody really took accountability for what they did, of course, not surprised.
Of course not.
But it was a lot of opposition, and I don't know, a lot of unity too, because people were sticking up for each other. People had each other's backs. Like, a lot of people of color who went to Monroe Woodbury, they're like, no, like, I saw that and that was fucked up. Like, I didn't say it then, but now I'm here and I'm grown and I'm aware of what's going on in the world, and I don't like that. So I think it's important that people are getting called out, but I think it's important that they learn to take accountability for what they did and not be so defensive and want to go and cry about it. And yeah.
I mean, hey, I know, like, at some point in like everyone's lives, like, everyone has probably said something stupid, and even like going back, how like on Twitter, that's kind of the new thing, like people pulling up old tweets, and people
cancel culture,
cancel culture, and people are saying, like, oh, they're old, I've grown from that. I think that's okay. Like, it's not okay for you to, like, say something racist and then, like, be a public official or be an officer or, be in law or something, because obviously that kind of, like, it's like a conflict of interest. Like, you can't be racist and be a public official.
Do you think that what someone says when they were younger holds weight to who they are today?
It just depends on where they're at. Like,
it was the thing about, like, with accountability, because the thing of saying, like, you may have done some things back then, but if you're grown enough to acknowledge what you have done, forgive yourself and accept the fact and understand that it was wrong, then definitely, but you can't
backtrack. Like, if somebody, like, you can't not acknowledge it, and you can't try to move on, and you have to apologize, and you have to prove that you change your ways. Like,
don't give a half-ass apology either. That's what Doja Cat kind of did. I didn't like her.
We'll get into you, Doja Cat. We're coming for you.
That's crazy.
I didn't like that.
I mean, I know Shelby was talking about how people were sharing their experiences.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think it's definitely good to like call out because nowadays like everything is just out there. Like with technology, it's like you can't really hide from anything. It's hard to have a personal life nowadays. Back in the days, it's like you could have said something under the radar and it might just fly under. But nowadays, it's like everything's out there. If you do something wrong, and that's great because now people are gonna have to watch what they say. Going back what we talked about yesterday, being responsible on a public platform. It's like if you have an audience, you have to be responsible about what you say.
I think that's really interesting because I talk about it with my mom too. I'm thinking because you just brought up a really good point. But people like who grew up back in the day, they kind of have a different view of what accountability and like racial about what this is. Because we're more like radical. We're more like, look, everybody needs to be called out. Everybody needs to talk about race right now. We all need to say all these uncomfortable things and get past it. My mom was like, why do we need to make everything about race? Like, why can't we do it more in a positive light? But I feel like by doing that, it's more of just putting a Band-Aid. And that's what we've been doing for so many years. And that's why we keep having to have marches because people aren't
the problem is not
uncomfortable. White people aren't uncomfortable, and until all white people feel how we felt for 400 years, then I really don't think we're gonna make any sustainable change.
I wonder what she meant by positive light, though. That's
She means like enough with the sharing of, because you know how on Twitter you have a whole bunch of different perspectives about one issue. And it's like, even black people, we're divided about how we want to get racial equality, you know? So it's just like all that different sharing of news and information to your white peers, it gets so confusing. They don't know what...
Because they can't relate.
They can't relate. They don't even... They can only empathize. But for us, it's like easier to be like, to conjure our own opinion because we know those different perspectives. We've seen those things. But for them, it's all new. And having all these different perspectives, they're like, well, I kind of agree more on this because but it's more like rooted in white supremacy, and that's what we're trying to go away from. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Okay. I get that.
You know something funny? I just saw something on Facebook recently, and I was talking about allyship fatigue.
What's that?
It's when you're when your friends who are part of the protests who aren't minorities but they're there for you
to support
like and just like enlighten other people, help get other people educated. I heard that someone called it allyship fatigue when they just get tired. The same way we get tired about hearing things on TV 25/8 about certain things.
Or educating people over and over again.
Yeah, about or like continuously supporting or continuously talking about it. Like they're getting allyship fatigue because they're tired about talking about it 25/8.
Their white racist family members or whoever they come across.
Yeah.
So like the white people are getting tired of
sticking up for us.
That's going to be a definition in the history book, allyship fatigue.
Allyship fatigue.
That's interesting.
That's a dope term.
That's
allyship.
You're not allowed to be tired.
No, I agree. I agree. I'm talking about just the word.
Oh, how they came up with it. Nice.
But okay, speaking of holding people accountable for their actions, right? So we had a little scuffle happen a couple days ago, right?
What happened?
They tried to get Jermaine, bro. They tried to get Jermaine.
That's Dante's man's too. I know that hurt him.
Mans, bro. I'm not gonna lie, it was tight. So what happened?
Is Jermaine a white guy?
Nah, Jermaine. J. Cole.
J. Cole. Not everybody refers to him as Jermaine. That's like Dante's man, so he calls him by his first name.
Okay, understand.
So he came out with the song that recently came out.
Song.
It was a really good song. I actually liked it.
Called Snow in the Bluff.
Snow in the Bluff, and I guess in the song, in the first verse, he pretty much said how people hold him to a pretty high standard, and he's pretty much just saying like he doesn't know everything about everything. Like he's a normal person. People put him at such a high regard because he's a celebrity, but at the end of the day, he's still a normal person. And I guess he felt some type of way because he thought No Name, the rapper, very talented artist. I believe she's from Chicago, right?
Yeah, she was
from Chicago. He pretty much says like he feels like she's talking about him on Twitter and talking to him. It's saying that he's not saying enough and could be saying more and using his platform to say more. Yeah,
her tweet was basically that it's funny how you got black people in the streets dying and protesting, but your favorite rapper
is quiet.
Who raps about black plight, all this other stuff, can't even make a tweet about it. So J. Cole felt like it was about him. I mean,
why?
Everybody. Why?
Yeah, because isn't he in the protests?
Yeah. Well, at the time of that tweet, I believe it came during the early stages of the protests, and J. Cole and Kendrick didn't tweet nothing. There was no pictures being out, so I guess she assumed they wasn't doing nothing. So that's why she made that tweet. The now that no one's really talking about. So J. Cole felt that it was about him, and he said what he had to say. So the controversy came for him saying that it's something about Queen's tone that's bothering me. Mm-hmm. So then everybody ran. Okay, but everybody came to defense of No Name, saying like, "Oh, who are you to tell
a black woman's tone,
how to feel, how to watch a tone, blah blah blah." And then there was other arguments that said, "Why is it that women always have to come to the defense of men as far as education? Like, you know, we get that you're a rapper and everything, but that's not an excuse for you not to be educated, not to know about this, that, and the third." And I guess J. Cole's whole thing was like, I'm just a rapper. Like, I don't know why you guys have this perspective of me being this activist. Well, that's not. No Name's an activist, apparently.
You know, she does like a lot of things in the community, and she tries to like, she's very low key about things, but she does a lot of things like, as far as like on the activism side, you know, she like talks to city council members, she talks to legislators, like she's very involved in that, but she does a lot of things behind the scenes. But
she has a whole book club.
Yeah, she has a book club, which is cool. Like great. But I think J. Cole's stance was like.
Do you agree with him putting out that song at that time?
I mean, yeah, he's talking. He's shedding light on what's happening, and I think it's a good song. So of course I appreciate it. But I think his thing was more of like he was saying that I don't know everything, and I don't think you should like attack people for not knowing anything. Like your position is to educate us, since like, because you know, I think he did it right, just because I don't think he was disrespectful. I don't think he like meant to be malicious, but he was just saying, I think you were talking about me in a tweet, and like I don't know everything, and I think your position, your tone was kind of off. Your position should be teaching us instead of like coming at us.
But that's the thing that's a controversy as itself, because you see all these people deleting their friends off of Facebook if they're Trump supporters, and instead of we don't want to have the job of educating people.
But we
going to allyship fatigue too. Like, if white people are getting tired, how do you think black people feel after having to explain it for years and years
and
like
years. Repeat ourselves, like, and it's at this point where we have technology at the access of our fingertips. Literally go Google it.
I just think at the end of the day, it's nobody's obligate. Well, as a black woman, it's not my obligation. It wasn't No Name's obligation to educate anybody.
I agree.
I think that Google is completely free. And also, if you don't have Wi-Fi, if you don't have a computer, you better go to your library. Make it a priority. People have free will, and they make their own choices. I feel like, you know, it depends on what choice you make.
Now to play devil's advocate, because I kind of also have the feeling of what you're saying. Not everyone understands where to go first.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, it sucks. Like, it really sucks, because, like, yes, you
That's
can't
true.
tell a black woman to watch her tone, but at the same time, like, J. Cole, you can't take it personally, because now, like, both of y'all are butthurt. Like, you, like, things get...
Why can't he take it personally?
But I also think it's weird that he assumed it was him, too, because she criticizes Jay-Z a lot. And other black males who are in his position. Like, if you're solid with yourself, if it don't apply, let it fly, bro. Like, why would you ever think that it had anything to do with you if you have a fan base who thinks that you're socially conscious? Let's not be real. Like, people pride themselves in listening to J. Cole because he's woke. He has different lyrics than Drake. You know what I'm saying? He's a different kind of vibe. So if that's your platform, own it. Be about that whole... have that same energy always, you know? Speak your truth. I don't like when people don't do that. I think that's, like,
I see that, because he's not... I would consider J. Cole an activist, not in the same way of, like, he's out there doing a lot of shit. I don't know what charities he donates to. I don't know the things that he does. But when it comes to deep down being a person that he, like... He has a good heart. He does things for certain people on the low. Not for necessarily everyone to know, but, like, certain things, like, when you watch him, like... not necessarily even interviews, but just him being a person. Like, he'll sit down and talk to people. Like, just people.
He's not like an ignorant person.
He's a very humbled man.
And he tries to put out like good energy. Like, he
all
doesn't
the time.
try to do anything negative. But going back to Shelby's point, like, I really think it is kind of an obligation. Like if you have the knowledge and you have the ability to articulate yourself and like spread knowledge, I think that's everybody's especially for like black men and women.
We can give you a push. We're not gonna hold your hand the
Yeah, of
You
entire
can
course.
feed
No,
a
I
water.
agree with
You
that.
can't make a horse, whatever that
You
thing
yeah,
is.
you can't lead a pig to water and expect him to drink.
Yeah.
Hey, I thought it was a
And that's
horse,
what we've
bro.
been doing
Doesn't
for
matter.
years.
But I don't think you should criticize somebody for, because like I don't think it didn't come out of nowhere, because they've, like I said, she's said things about other artists in the past, and I
Yeah.
guess J. Cole's point was it's like you shouldn't really be criticizing people who are actually doing the right thing and you feel like they're not using their platform enough, because there's other things people are doing. Like they could be doing things behind the scenes as far as people like Jay-Z or J. Cole.
But I also think that she has the right to say whatever the hell she
Yeah, of
wants
course,
to say.
everybody does.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, and I feel like, how dare you, as a black man who released "Crooked Smile"? Like that was my jam. That made me feel like I'm a black woman, black girl magic. You know what I'm saying? Accepted me. How are you gonna tone police me? How are you gonna say "Queen," which was, he used that to be ironic. He used that to, you know, hold some. It was done in a funny way. You
What?
know what I'm saying?
Okay, here's my question.
What?
So she responded too, right?
With the
Yeah.
song, it's actually really good too.
Really good.
I liked
thought-
it.
Yeah, she killed that beat.
I liked it.
She killed that beat. Why can't this be looked at as a rapper and rapper tension and beef? They're both rappers.
Instead of a race
Yeah.
tension,
Instead of like a tone thing.
I think they're purposely doing it because of the heat of everything that's going on.
Yeah.
And also the nature of the song. He said it's what he's talking about. He's talking about racial issues in the song, is he not?
Yeah.
And he's saying, why don't you educate us about what's going on about racial issues? So it's a racial issue when you come and you have a dark-skinned woman. And let's not act like we don't know that dark-skinned women don't get omitted from every conversation, and they don't get criticized. When people gaslight them all the time. You guys say that whatever they go through isn't real, whatever struggles they have, you know, how about we just listen to them and reflect and be like, maybe it is real. Maybe they do have a point, and just see it from their view instead of being defensive. Same thing goes to white people. Have some accountability. Stop being so defensive automatically and thinking that, you know, people don't take things personally. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. I keep reinforcing things, but like, you know.
But that's the thing. When you say, like, when people take things personally, that's something that they have to work on themselves.
But
Exactly.
but you can't tell someone how to take something in. You know what I'm saying?
You
like if
can't.
he feels
No.
like it was shot at him, then I guess that's how he felt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
And
I hear what you're saying.
I think his thing is, it's just like I don't think he likes her coming for other like black men. Like that's the thing. It's
And that's
like,
but she
thing
has every
too.
right to that. She has every right to do that.
That's also, I think, no, but you're right. Black men don't like being called out by dark-skinned women. They don't. They get very defensive and they go into, and I think that's not right, because I don't know.
So you're
We'll
saying
talk
dark-skinned
about
women. So
it.
you're saying with light-skinned women they don't mind, but it's with dark-skinned women it's like a different.
Well, yeah. Well, also, light-skinned women are more desired by black-skinned men. That was discussed in Spike Lee's movie with the hairdressing scene. I have better hair
Oh
than you.
yeah, and they were saying the whole thing about jigaboos and shit like
Jigaboos,
that.
it
That was
goes-
a good movie.
Yeah, I watched this documentary and I was like, oh my god, this goes, like, they show it in film. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is a
That
clear
was
divide.
the first. No, Spike Lee got in a lot of trouble for that because that was one of the first movies that were made that talks about the difference between the colorism of our skin and our
Yeah.
melanin.
It's real.
I mean, that's definitely real, but that's kind of like that's a whole separate issue though. Like in itself,
How?
like, I mean, it's like comparing, like, just going back to this conversation. I mean, that's definitely like a real thing that happens, but in this conversation, I don't believe it's like a dark-skinned woman calling me out kind of thing. I think it's more just like, you know, she's
You know-
she's saying that you could be using your platform more, and I think J. Cole feels like I do a lot of things like behind the scenes. Like his point was everybody shouldn't be on a public platform if they don't know everything. He was saying the point of the song was saying like I'm an actual person. I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I try to use my platform behind the scenes. But I'm not like an activist. I don't know everything, so I'm not going to be on a public platform talking about shit I don't know like that.
Yeah.
I mean, he does know things, but he's not
Yeah,
like.
he graduated 4.2
Yeah, no, he is
GPA.
like he's a
smart.
very smart
Yeah,
person.
he's
But I
smart.
guess he feels like there's other ways he can be helping other than just
Being
speaking out loud,
public.
like just being
Like not
public.
everything has to be public.
Yeah, and I
And
think
I
that's
agree
his
with
thing.
that
Like
too.
you're coming at me when I am doing stuff. I'm just not on Twitter talking about
And I
talking
think
shit.
he should have called her up and he should have explained that to her and had a productive conversation rather than have his ego take him to write that song, because that wasn't I don't think personally that was like the right medium to express that, because he has every right to have that feeling. And
Even
like,
though he didn't do it disrespectfully.
but tone policing is disrespectful. Telling somebody to watch their tone and how they articulate what they want to
Here's
say, I think is
my
disrespectful.
thing about it. I think, yes, tone policing is absolutely disrespectful. I think it doesn't help at the fact that he took it so personally, which is why he's telling her to watch her tone, even though he should know the outcome of, like, saying, like, you should know better than to tell a black woman to watch her tone.
Yeah.
I think it's a very personal issue within themselves, and people are taking it as in, oh, J. Cole doesn't support black women,
And I
and
think
No
that's
Name
weird.
is
That's weird.
this crazy radicalized girl who's not supporting black men. I think that's
Yeah.
what this whole thing is starting up to be about, when it's literally those two having a conflict within themselves.
Yeah.
And J. Cole was offended because of the way she said it, and then she's just offended because she's like, yo, what are y'all doing?
Yeah, and I think people like to polarize things just because that's the nature of our environment right now. Like, you're either
Yeah.
with us or you're
Or
totally
against
on the
it.
other
Yeah,
side, and
totally,
people
yeah.
can't be in the middle.
Yeah.
Because I totally understand where he was coming from, and that's why I feel like if he were to just be like, like after he saw that backlash and be like,
Reach
I see
out
where you
differently,
you
yeah.
know, I would have been like, perfect,
Yeah.
got you. I hear you out. That song's amazing. I would have listened to the song and blasted. You know, I would have
Mm-hmm.
been about it. But I just think he got defensive and he stayed defensive. And even No Name, with her comeback, she deleted it, and then she made a tweet today saying how she felt remorseful, and she said her ego got the best of her, and she shouldn't have
Oh, I didn't know
even
that.
focused
See that.
on that.
Mm.
And that shows a lot from her. Do you know
Agreed.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Agreed.
you know, like.
Okay. So that gets more context. to
But
the
that
actual
also
story.
sucks because you have a black woman gaslit again, jeopardizing her actions because of what
She shouldn't
people
have
made
to.
her do. Exactly.
You shouldn't have
And
to.
I agree.
I
I
mean,
don't think J. Cole was 100% in the right. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I think, you know,
And No Name isn't either. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think that. I don't think you should be criticizing everybody, because that's how the divide within the black community continues.
Yeah.
She is very radical, but I think we can all take pieces of her radicalness and make our own. Like, I make my own opinion. I never follow anybody anymore. Like, no.
Dang.
Celebrities are false prophets. So I like to take bits and pieces of what I see and what I like and what I resonate with and make my own thing out of it, because that's how you become your own individual being.
100%.
I think that's why I think of it as a rapper thing. Like, I don't really think of it that deep. The fact that they both responded, and
I mean, the topic itself is deep.
Yeah.
it's deep, but it's like rappers express themselves through rap.
Through music,
So
yeah.
if I have a problem with how someone said something about me, only way I can express it is through
Through
rap.
music,
It's not
yeah.
like he
But-
tweeted her and said like, "Oh, like who you talk to?" Like, he didn't do none of that.
But for, I think, 6ix9ine
And she
or
too.
Lil Pump, didn't he have a phone call before he did something? I don't really know the rapper timeline and the details and anything like that, but my brother told me, because I was saying, why couldn't he called her? And he was like, that's kind of right, because he's called other men in the past when they had beef or when they had issues. He never released a diss track about Lil Pump or 6ix9ine.
And maybe in the heat of the spur of everything that's going down, everyone's heated, everyone's fed up, everyone's pissed
Yeah.
off, everyone needs to release.
And art is a medium, so he probably felt like the best way for him to release was through that song.
Yeah.
But I just think that wasn't. He should have read the
He
room.
probably should have reached out behind the scenes first.
Maybe he did.
Yeah.
I don't know.
True.
I mean,
Probably after
probably
all
not.
this
I mean, I
happened.
feel like
don't
we
think
probably would
so.
have heard that.
Yeah, she
She
wouldn't
probably
have
would've-
released that
yeah.
diss track if he
Oh yeah,
talked
no.
about
I'm
it.
not saying before that. I'm saying maybe after that diss track, maybe they must have talked to each
Oh,
other.
I'm
after,
sure
yeah.
after
So maybe that.
Yeah.
But going back to the policing thing, is there a way for a man to tell a woman that he doesn't really like her tone without policing them?
You can say, I feel like, express how you feel. I feel X, Y, and Z because of X, Y, and Z. I don't really know if, like,
Because when you said that, I was like, okay.
you thought about how can you come about it in a respectful way.
Yeah, because not to make it a man and woman thing, like, oh, women can do this, but man can't do that, because women do have the luxury to
Express how
express how. Well, of course,
Well,
that, and
more-
also say, like, if we say something out of pocket to a woman, they have the luxury to say, oh, it's not what you said, but how you said it. Your tone was like crazy. You know what I'm saying? So like, let's say me and my girl arguing, and I'm like yelling at her, and she says, yo, watch your tone, like, you know, watch your mouth. Why you yelling like that? You could just talk to me like that, right? So if the reverse happened and she's yelling at me and I said, yo, why you yelling? Like, I don't like your tone. that's me policing her and how she should talk.
I think it's also her policing you too, though.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, are you guys saying like policing in general is the wrong thing? Oh.
It doesn't matter if you're a girl, if you're a boy saying it to a girl, if you're a girl saying it to a boy. I feel like no one should really be. Like, I feel like we should just have a constructive conversation about our feelings.
I agree.
I think that's how you get past
But if you-
policing.
Yeah.
People don't like to communicate about uncomfortable things. They don't like to get to the grit of their issues. I learned that going into college. My best friend is an Aries, and she was like, look, if we have an issue, we're going to talk about it right here, right now. We're not going to let it sit, simmer, nothing.
Yeah.
We're getting it out.
Facts.
And that's how I feel like people should live their lives, because that's when you get this whole little, self in your head, sabotage things, and you like to overanalyze situations that weren't even there to begin with. If you just open your mouth and say, why did you say that to me like that? That person can be like, oh, did I? Take themselves back.
Because some people don't even know their tone when they're speaking half
Exactly.
the time.
My mom
Exactly.
always
That's
does
true.
that to me. She always will be like, the way you're talking is mean. And I'm just like, but it's because I feel anxious right now. Like, I have a lot of things to do. I'm supposed to leave. That's why I was late today. I have to leave to be somewhere at 2:00, and we're having this conversation. Like, I got to go. But then she understands. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not like she goes and has, conjures all these feelings up while I'm gone. And she's like, why is she such a bitch? You always have to talk to me like that. Like,
Yeah.
no, she was anxious. That's why she snapped. But
Yeah. I mean, shit. At the end of the day, we're all human, and I mean, it is communication is key, like you said. At the end of the day, like you can't tell somebody how to say things or what they're feeling, but all you can do is say how you're feeling. So it's just communication.
speak your truth
Yeah.
and listen to people.
Listen,
Yeah,
OD.
Okay. Oh, Karan, did you see the Alicia Keys and John Legend versus?
I did not. I wish I would have saw it
Oh,
because
that
I
was on
love.
Juneteenth, right?
It was on Juneteenth. Oh, happy Juneteenth to everyone.
Happy
Juneteenth,
Juneteenth.
everybody.
Yeah.
Happy Juneteenth.
And
yeah,
happy
I
Father's
didn't see
Day
it.
as well too.
Happy Father's Day.
That's
Happy
very
Father's
important.
Day.
Wow, good looks, Karan.
Yeah. Forgetting everything,
For
but
real. Damn, I wish I saw it because I was gonna ask who won it. I totally.
I
forgot
mean,
about that.
I know a lot of people who thought Alicia was definitely gonna dominate, but I don't know. I didn't see it. I love both of them. I listen to both of them, so
Okay, without us seeing it, because we don't know who won, so we'll just talk about it right now.
I'm not gonna lie.
Who do you think
I
will
love
win?
both of them, but I probably listen to more Alicia.
So you say
John.
Alicia will win.
I probably like her music a little better, more consistently.
So you said she will.
I would think she would probably have won. Yeah.
How y'all feel?
This like her on the keys or like music?
Music. So Alicia Keys' body of work versus John Legend.
John
Legend.
Alicia.
Body of work.
I don't
Alicia?
even really listen to John like that.
Ooh.
I really don't. I'm sorry, John.
You about to be all Alicia?
He's cute though. He's a cute guy.
Solange, who you got?
I'm conflicted.
I'm gonna say Alicia.
I'm
I'm
so
not gonna hold you.
conflicted. I'm like, personally, I would say Alicia too, because I do listen to her music more than I do listen to John's.
She getting her the fuck out of here.
But like,
Oh, I wish I had my
Yo,
soundboard working. I'll
it's
play some
just-
John shit right now, bro.
it's just I
John got
haven't.
some tracks, bro,
my
but
God, John
Alicia.
has some tracks.
Yo, but where has Alicia been, bro? Like,
She
girl,
about to
where
drop
have you
an album
been?
soon.
She's
She a
been
mom?
hosting. She's been hosting award shows
she's
for the
been a
past
mom-
5
oh.
years.
Good
Oh,
for her
really?
Yeah,
then.
she's literally hosted. She hosted the Grammys.
That's what she
She
does
hosted,
now.
like,
It's cute.
I didn't know
mad
that.
shows.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I was
She's
like, where
been
she at?
hosting
She's about to drop an album too. Like in
I know.
fall.
I know she got a
Jazz
nice
songs.
family after she snatched someone else's daddy, so that's why I was just like,
Not gonna lie, I've seen Swizz more than I've seen Alicia because I watch Wild and Out, and he was on Wild and Out. It was good.
What was I gonna say? There's nothing wrong with that.
there is definitely something wrong with that. I don't know the context or the history of your guys' relationship, guys. So I am butthurt about the principle of it. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't know your personal stories of how it happened, so I'm not going to judge it. I am kind of butthurt though.
Wait, are you talking about Alicia taking
Swizz?
Swizz?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they've known each other since high school. Like,
what that mean?
they have a
Oh,
long
really?
history together. So
What
it's not
that
like
mean?
it's not random.
That's
I mean,
not random, but
But it's still fucked up,
how's it fucked up?
cause you just took someone else's whole man's, even though
I
he
mean,
was
she
yours
didn't
to
take
begin
nobody.
with.
I mean,
But you
Swish
know-
has a voice too, and he can.
That's
control
very true,
how-
because
it's
it's not
the
it's not
man's
Alicia's
thing.
fault. It's not Alicia's
I
fault
think it's
either.
the
The same
man's thing
thing.
to communicate that with whoever he was with. Like, look, my heart's really with Alicia. Like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Plus, you don't know if they were together when they did. what
Like
they
it's
did.
just
They could've been
dumb
divorced.
fucked up, because at that point he's all married with kids and shit like that, and
Oh,
like
he was married with kids. and
he's
stuff?
married
Yeah.
with kids
Before
bro.
Alicia?
Yeah, not
I
before
think-
Alicia, because if you were talking that
Oh,
they were there before high school, like they obviously drifted apart, and like
He got a girlfriend or
girlfriend got married, got the whole shebang. I don't know how long he was with his other wife for a long time. This wasn't even a topic. Sorry, Alicia.
Nah,
Sorry,
it's all
Alicia.
good.
It's actually
But, like-
crazy. I literally just saw an interview 2 weeks ago. They were she did an interview with HBO Desus and Mero, and like it was Alicia and Swish, and they were talking about like how they met and the first day they met and stuff. Like it's crazy. Yeah.
So like, okay, I can't like, again, like I can't judge you because I don't know how the hell it all went down. I was definitely butthurt when I heard the news. I was definitely like in high school, and you know, in high school you're very headstrong, and I was very headstrong about cheating. Like if you do it, it's unacceptable. You're going to hell.
I
Like,
also
Jeez.
I do
it was high school though. Like now I understand the concept of why people do it. I still don't think it's okay, but I'm not as
Oh, you about to
judgmental or
talk
dickhead
your
about
thing
it.
before, yeah.
I'm not.
That thing that you said.
Yeah. The polyamorous relationships and all that shit,
oh
and
damn,
the breakups.
that shit's crazy.
Like I'm more
But I
open
feel-
towards it, but it's still like.
I
it
also
hurts.
do think, because if you think about like Khloe Kardashian and Tristan, same kind of situation. She took somebody else's baby daddy and got cheated on right before she had the baby.
Oh,
of the baby.
shit.
It's I feel like it happens again. Like if you get with that kind of dude, he has that in him to be like, I'm a sneaky guy, so I'm going to sneak. If, you know, you're not all that. You know, you're not. You're not
Not all
You
that.
ain't
immune
shit.
to the bullshit. So even if you stole somebody else's man, you can get your shit stolen.
You can
from
get got
too,
too,
you know?
yeah.
Hell yeah.
So why would you want a guy like that in the first place?
Hey,
That's
man.
what my mindset was like after I stopped getting butthurt. And then now when you're talking about they knew each other from high school, he never wanted his wife to begin with, to be honest. He wanted
yeah.
Alicia.
I mean, I wouldn't go as far as to say that, but you never know what
That's
could have
true,
been
that's
going
true,
on in their
that's true, that's
relationship.
true,
And
that's
plus,
true,
it goes back to your
that's
theory,
true.
how you don't think that, well, you understand why people can't be with each other for the rest of their lives.
I think people could be with each other for the rest of their lives.
Bruh,
I know,
that
no,
was
no.
not your energy last
No.
podcast.
Because it's a thing about people having polyamorous relationships and people being self-conscious of the sake of
But what if
it's
you
not
don't have a
necessarily about the
polyamorous-
love, it's about just the intimacy of sex.
But what if
I
you
wanted
don't
that.
have a whatever the word is, polyamorous relationship? What if
That-
you just happen to be with this woman or guy for a couple years, maybe 20 years? You wake up one day and you just fall out of love with that person. What is that called?
I mean, that doesn't just happen.
That doesn't just happen.
You don't
There's
just
been
wake up
build
one
That
day.
doesn't just happen?
No.
No.
No, that builds. That
Yes,
builds. You.
it
It was.
does.
It's
I might
the
have
esteem
pissed
for
you off
one
2 years ago,
problem,
yeah.
and that shit kept on building up with more and more problems that you realize about the person that you don't like.
So you think
Or we
problem-
weren't in love like that, because I feel like for me, if I'm in love with you and like we get married and all of that stuff, like it's gonna be like intoxicating, like, you know what I'm saying, like like you're not gonna want to think about anybody else. So unless
That's fake toxic right there.
low key,
How's that
low-key.
toxic?
When you're
Well-
super infatuated with the person, you gotta spend 25/8 with them. You're insecure
Well,
about
no,
them
not
leaving.
that.
Oh, okay.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
No,
Okay,
I just like
okay.
my friend has a relationship and they are very communicative with each other,
Mm-hmm.
and they are very devoted to each other. But it's not in that sense of like we need to be up around
other's
each other.
eyes.
They have their own circles of friends, but they just make time for each other. There's not 1 ounce of her being that thinks that he would go off and talk to somebody else. You know what I'm
That
saying?
sounds like
That's
a healthy
trust.
relationship. Yeah.
Sounds like an awesome
Because
relationship.
they talk about things. Like if he is feeling like, you know, they need to do it more, they talk about it more. And then she's like, well, I don't feel like doing it because X, Y, and Z, my period, and then whatever.
It's that thing of communication, like I said before. People all have their match for someone, and they all have agreements towards what is okay and what they like and don't like, and that's where compromise comes in order to try and appease the other person's comfort so they could like mesh together.
And also empathize with your partner. Like that's what
Oh, yeah.
comparison.
Because not
compromising is
everyone wants a risky, frisky, disky relationship. Not everyone wants like a very calm, neutral. Like it just depends on the person and who you're with. That's a conversation for your partner.
And this goes back to just knowing your partner and knowing like what
Love
their
language.
interests, the love language. It's just getting to know them and know their personality and what they're into and having the same interests. Going back
And
to
Don't
also-
always have to have the same interest, but you always have to be understanding of it.
I think people need to focus on being best friends with their partner before all that sexual stuff gets in the way. Because I feel like,
I don't
a
think
lot-
people know how to do that anymore.
and that's what's crazy.
I think we're talking about no. I feel like it's weird. It's really weird. If you think about it, growing up within our generations, think about our grandparents. How did they get wedlocked? Some of them, it wasn't by choice. It was by
Arranged marriages.
not even arranged marriages, but by
Survive, like, economic.
yeah, survival economics of like you would be good for me just because, and then they start to love their
And
partner
that's
on the
why
way
they-
in.
That's
and
why
then,
they stay with people.
so yeah, I think this is the generation of understanding that we can choose how we want to love.
Exactly.
Choose how we want.
How do you want to love, Dante?
How do I want to love?
How do you want to love?
Bro, I'm learning every day. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Cause you're speaking to a nigga that is, I think, too logical. Like,
Too logical?
yeah,
Oh,
it's
that's
hard for me to
hilarious.
understand
Like my
emotions.
brother.
It's hard for me to understand emotions.
Why do you say that?
Because, okay, so let's say I get into a fight with somebody,
Yo, he lying.
right? No, not even. This is like prior experience. I get in a fight with somebody, right? She expresses to me how she feels about a certain situation. I can't name one for you right now.
Don't put your business.
I'm not.
You do that, you do that enough.
We just had this
Dante.
conversation.
I can't.
Just
We
say
just
it.
have. She expressed me of something that I did. Now it's hard for me to empathize with her because logically, to me, like you have no reason to be upset.
If you don't think it's as bad,
Exactly.
In
Or
your
like,
mind-
in my
in
in
your
my
mind.
mind is like
But you're not empathizing.
I'm not, and I think I struggle with that. Right. I'm learning.
You
I'm
ain't even
learning.
sympathizing, bro.
I'm not.
You
I'm not.
ain't even caring. You don't
So I
give
think
a fuck.
that's why a lot of my relationships or talking stages failed because I don't empathize, sympathize.
I
with
think that's
emotions.
so ironic coming from you.
Oh, here we go.
yeah.
Talk about
Dante,
Quran.
stay be-
bro. Stop
No,
talking
we
about-
no, you
don't
always
talk-
shitting on Quran. It's time to shit on Dante.
Quran
So-
sits on me on this podcast. What are you talking about?
I guess it's just so easy. So
It is pretty easy. I'm like, it is easy.
So coming from a Cancer ass
Yeah.
who says he's unemotional.
I'm not a Cancer, by the way. I'm Aquarius. I swear I'm Aquarius. I swear to God.
You're not even the same month as Aquarius
Dante
season.
just likes to lie. That's
Bro,
what he
I
likes
just
to do.
don't feel.
You're-
Personally, me, I don't feel like a Cancer.
Well, that's probably your moon is probably an Aquarius.
No, I'm a double Cancer. I'm a Sun and Moon, but my rise is in Aquarius.
My brother is a Cancer, and he would have said that exact statement.
I
about
think
not
male
understanding
cancers are
emotions.
completely different from female cancers,
There's-
to be
yeah.
quite honest. Because female cancers, they don't give a fuck. They'll be honest. They'll be like, yeah, I'm emotional.
Oh, yeah.
But
Male
continue.
cancers?
But continue,
Yeah.
story.
Okay. Dante, you're empathetic in a way that you don't realize it. You gotta be mad close with a person. It's not the sense that you don't care. It's just that I feel like there's levels towards when you care. Because you were very empathetic and caring towards me growing up in high school, but that's because we were mad close in high school.
Mhm.
And you would do the same thing for Rachel. You would do the same thing for Kayla and other girls. Not to like be like you're a friendly
No,
person,
you're
but like no, but like they're
Friendly
we're
ass
all your
nigga.
friends.
He doesn't do that for his male friends, though. There's been a lot of times I've been down.
That's a
with Dante.
different
I'm fucking
conversation.
dead.
You're such a
I'm
liar.
fucking
And Dante
dead.
never talks to me about my
Men don't
feelings.
like to express
Whatever,
their
it's cool.
emotions
I'm sorry,
regardless,
Salon.
bro.
I'm sorry.
That's true. That's true. I remember one time we were all hanging out, and we were all getting lit. And Dante had one episode, and y'all would just
Bro.
being niggas. Y'all would just be dead niggas like, he'll be alright. He's just drunk. Let him be okay. And I was just like, you guys are letting your friend hang right there. Like, go talk to him or
Talk
something.
about
Like, he's
it.
not okay.
Men ain't shit.
Yeah, y'all ain't.
No,
Y'all were not
no,
shit.
but
shit.
he
Y'all were
would,
not
if
shit.
we would have done that if he would have
We
opened up.
reciprocated and done the same
He
thing.
would have not maybe like I said maybe
But men
he
don't
can
make
do
it
it
easy.
easier with a woman like
because
open
we
up to a woman.
open up, like I feel like it's easier to talk. There's the thing about like black women uplifting black men. Like we're easier to not necessarily
That's
easier
why
to
it's
talk
so
to, but like
essential for black women to like you have to uplift black men because black men can't
Uplift
they
each
can,
other.
I mean they can
That's
but
fucked up.
it's
We're
a
at the
different way no
generation of
it's,
ignorance. Like, we
thinking
don't
about
have to-
that though. The burden of having to like.
yeah,
and
women
we
don't.
always will. Don't get me wrong. Like we're gonna
yeah.
complain about it, but we
Yeah.
always will.
Like we show up. We always at the front of the protest. Like
You're right.
Time and time again.
But I don't think it's like I hear what you're saying. Like, why do black women always have to carry the shoulders of black men, or like carry black men on their shoulders? I get that, but
They
it's
carry
like
It's also
lot
like
on
the
their
toxic
shoulders.
It's
masculinity
not
of
even-
not understanding how to express their emotions or feelings without coming off as gay or making that
You're not as
not
mas-
showing their
Yeah.
masculinity. Yeah.
Society made you guys make agreements with yourselves that said if you express your emotions, you're gay. If
You guys were already contracted to already be the devil, so there was no such
Literally-
thing
Literally.
as, and not
That's
even
wrong.
like the
Yeah.
world. It was just like the system in itself is already contracted. As soon as you were born, you're not cute after 7 years old. You're a man.
And also for
Yeah,
us,
it's
it's
fucked
like
up.
we were raised to be mothers.
Just
So
caring,
that's why
yeah.
we have that. Like that's why
the
women are
nurture
just
nature.
yeah, because we were raised to be taken care of, and that's why it's so tiring when you are finally grown and you're like, wait, what? Like, I don't need to really take care of nobody. Except for me.
Of course, but
But,
just
like-
just understand, black
Yeah.
men, they
Totally.
can't. And not saying that we can't like go to our friends, because I feel like I can go to my friends, but I just
Yeah.
feel like we wouldn't really spew out our emotions like we would to a black man, like than to a black
I
woman.
agree.
Yeah.
It's
There's
like I
only
can't talk to
some-
you,
I
but
think that's
it's
special too.
yeah,
There's only certain stuff I would tell. Even if I wanted to come with them, there's only certain shit I would tell.
yeah. It's like
It
it's
would,
the
it would be
point.
hidden in stories and riddles, and they would have to piece it out, and then you would get the advice of whatever they say. That's pretty
Yeah,
and then you guys
facts.
go back to FIFA.
Yeah, not
Shit like
FIFA.
that.
FIFA,
2K,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Because it's not like I could tell my guy friends like, "Yo, I'm really fucked up over this girl. Like, this girl broke my heart."
I mean, you can, but
Because you
You
guys have been
definitely get
there.
bagged
though.
on. You
Y'all
definitely get
cannot.
bagged on.
But having guys, like, we've all been there. Like, I feel like that should be, like, an acceptable conversation.
should be the
No,
norm.
it-
It
that's
should
just-
be.
it's
It
just- I
should
guess
be.
guys
That
just feel
should
like
be
they have to
norm.
do it in a certain way. Like,
Yeah.
like I feel like
They
I
can't
can
cry about it.
Yeah, it's
They
not-
can't be like, oh my girl, she just left me and shit.
I mean, it's. I mean, you can, but I don't know. I just don't think it would make us. I don't know. Maybe
You
we
be
just
losing your
feel.
masculinity.
It's not even that. It's like,
I
well,
can't- I
it
don't
goes
know
back
if
to
it's
me.
that.
Like, I'm uncomfortable around anybody who cries. It's like if someone cries
fucking
around me,
sad.
like I'll try. Like I'm still like comfy. Like, oh, it's alright. Like everything's gonna be fine. But internally, I'm just like,
You're
yo,
like, I gotta
why
get
is
outta
she
here.
crying in front of me? Why is he crying in front of me? You know what I mean? Like
I feel
logically,
that.
like what are you crying about?
Is that like
Like,
an anxious
But
thing?
sometimes I think about that too when people are crying for no reason. You know, like I've had a friend and it's just like, yo, why are you crying right now? Like
know
I'm
what I'm
here
saying?
for you and I got like I'll give you all of that what you need. But then I'm like, yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's human
Yeah.
to be like, what the hell,
Like, what the fuck you crying for?
you know?
We could give you something to cry about. Let me
But then
stop.
meanwhile, 10 days later, 5 minutes later, I'm crying from like a movie or some tweet. Like I do the same stuff. It's all hypocritical.
nah, I feel you.
But back to you being empathetic. I think you're empathetic.
Oh, yeah?
That's where it all stirred from. That's where it all stirred from, to be honest.
Wait, still from what?
It started from you being non-empathetic or non-sympathetic.
Oh yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. I'm
You
learning
know
to,
you
I'm
are.
learning
You
to, I'm
are.
learning to.
I think you are. You just don't know.
Not everyone can.
You
get
don't
that.
intentionally realize when you're being empathetic, and you don't know when you not necessarily when you should be, but like when you want to.
I just don't think if he doesn't really care about you like that, he's not going to be that empathetic towards you.
And you might have like a trust, you know.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
Wall.
It's like a level between like once
Yeah.
you hit a certain point of trust for you, like then it's like you subconsciously or unconsciously would do something for that person out of that.
Yeah.
Oh, Dante.
Do you self-reflect a lot? Like, do you assess how you feel, like internalize your day and write it down? Oh
No,
no, no.
not really. Like,
Hey, we should probably get on
I
that.
think you should do that because then you would be
What do you-
able to empathize more with people and see, because you would see it within yourself. You know
If
what
you
I'm
want to
saying?
empathize with
you
oh,
want
like
to.
if I see somebody upset, then think like, oh, what if that was me type shit.
Yeah, or just like write how you feel every day, like whatever you go through. Because I know like you go through a range of I do, at least I do. I go through a range of emotions throughout my day. Where
See,
I'm
I
like,
don't.
You say mellow the whole day,
I'm mellow the whole day, unless something ticks me off.
but like
You're
yeah,
always good vibes.
Yeah, like I'm always just chilling. Like I've never. That's why it's like I think now that I'm in a relationship, I feel like now part of that emotion that a Cancer's supposed to have is coming out.
I understand.
But single Dante was always very like
Dante.
logic is logic. Like you shouldn't be upset over this, so I don't care that you're upset.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
But now you have to take in someone else's feelings and someone else's.
And that's been the
need.
toughest thing ever. It's tougher than.
So that's a relationship, though.
It's gonna be worthwhile too. That's the whole point of us being here with each other.
Crown, let's talk about you.
I
I'm fucking dead.
don't know what you. I'm chilling, man.
I don't know what to talk about.
Yeah,
Let's
you
talk.
don't know too. What's
I don't.
what else we got?
I don't know. We just rambling right now.
That was a good topic about men masculinity, though.
Oh, this is what I want to talk about when I talk about logic. Can you hold logic accountable? Not logic. Can you hold people's emotions accountable
Yes.
in a relationship?
Yes.
Yeah.
You should.
So you can.
Yeah.
I feel like you should.
But everyone, you can't invalidate somebody else's emotions though or feelings.
Explain.
Yeah.
You can't say you don't have the right, or you gaslighting, like how you feel is not true, how you feel is wrong, how you feel doesn't make sense. You can't go and say that to somebody else because you're not that person. So you have like that's just not in you're not God. That's not in your conviction to be like, don't feel that way. I'm going to go inside of you and tell you how your brain how to, you can't do that. So either you say, thank you for expressing that. I didn't mean it that way. And express how you feel. And then you guys can come to a mutual agreement. Or you don't, and you agree to disagree. But even that is, like, weird to me. I don't really like to agree to disagree. I like to come to a means.
But I don't think everyone should just act off of emotion. I think that's where, like, you're trying to go with it, right? Just acting off of emotion and then holding that accountable.
I was gonna go
because you don't always mean what you say, like when you're super emotional.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know, so.
But you hold that.
So when you say holding somebody accountable for their emotions, are you talking about emotions?
I guess the reason I brought up logic because I was going to talk about like how I think a relationship nowadays has been overcome by more emotional stuff than logic. What I mean by logic,
I wouldn't say that.
That's just I guess how I feel. What I mean by logic is like, it's like I have to, not me personally, but like people have to emotionally understand everything that is going on in a relationship. Whereas if I were to think of something in like a logic sense, then it's me not really giving a fuck about that person's. Am I making any sense?
No,
I don't think I'm making any sense right now.
Repeat exactly what you said.
Okay. So maybe it's not coming out right, so please correct me. So I feel like nowadays relationships are very emotionally based.
So I have emotion. So people are getting in relationships just for the sake of feeling more so than for the sake of thinking about the relationship.
The feelings with that person and logically being with that person for like logistically speaking.
Okay, so it's like say
like The Notebook, that movie The Notebook, how she had the guy she was really in love with all based on feeling, but her parents are telling her, no, like, you're rich, like, you cannot be with the poor guy, you need to be with this guy who's more logically right for her because he could provide X, Y, and Z for her and do right by her. Is that what you meant? Like, kind of
that goes back to the sense of like our parents marrying for the sake of.
I don't know what I'm trying to say.
I'm trying to understand. I want to get it.
But I know that you mean like people have expectations when they go into relationships.
Okay, yeah, that's
okay.
Sure. Here we go. Expectations.
Oh, so for the hype of being in a relationship, more so for the sake of like waiting for that right person to come.
Yeah.
I'm not even. I want to call you out. I'm not gonna call you out.
Call me out, Dante. Fuck it. Call me out.
You got a strong ass relationship, so.
Quran, right?
Dante just looks for shit to come at me about.
No, I think me and Quran are very similar. It's just Quran is better than me. So
don't say that.
No, you're better than me. Quran
don't say that.
is very emotionally understanding towards a woman's feelings, right?
That us?
I think he is.
Really?
I mean,
everyone, I think, but
because
yeah, especially women. Yeah, definitely, especially women.
Yeah,
especially
I think he's very
women.
emotionally understanding towards.
You have to.
women.
You just have to, though. I feel like.
But why do you have to? Okay, that's my thing. Why do we? Not to be a dick. I'm not trying to sound like a dick. But like,
you don't have to. But then here's the predicament that you're in compared to the predicament that Quran is in. Everyone works differently.
But why would you expect people to respect you if you don't want to respect everybody else?
But can I respect someone but not like emotionally understand them?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Of course, Dante. Not everyone's gonna be at the same level as you emotionally.
If you're talking about wanting to do that in a relationship,
is that possible to do in a relationship?
Yeah.
I think it's possible. Whether or not you'll be happy or not is the different question.
I couldn't personally know. Like I don't.
Because people do like they do that logically. They'll be with that person, but they're not emotionally invested. But they'll just stay with them for the sake of like they don't want change to happen, or they're comfortable in the setting that they're in.
What I do is like I just like the moments we have. Like when we hang out, it's cool, and you don't, as long as you don't say anything stupid. But I can't really I can't talk to you about stuff that I really want to talk to you about because if I try, we don't see eye to eye, and I feel like it's kind of like a waste of.
Like you just got me stressed over no reason when I didn't want to be stressed. Like I wanted to talk this out, and now I'm even more upset because we can't.
Yeah, when I'm in a relationship, I just want to be comfortable, at ease, not have to second guess, not have to worry. Like that's gonna be my best friend.
For sure.
It's a partnership.
It should be like that, honestly.
Yeah, everybody should want that.
There definitely has to be like not necessarily arguments, but I always believe in within the good there is always bad.
Yeah.
But with that there comes growth.
It's just I feel like relationships is just like being in compromise. Like you're not always gonna see eye to eye. You're not always gonna agree. You're not always gonna understand. But you just have to like sympathize and compromise. You know.
And something else too. I've never been in a relationship.
For real?
No.
Not like a 5th grade boyfriend.
I've had I've had those, but I don't count those. Like I've
Yeah, of
never
course.
been like in an emotionally relationship with
A
somebody,
serious-
but I've had situationships, and
Okay.
I just think personally the reason why I don't have a boyfriend is because no one is on my emotional level, and the guys that are, it doesn't work out. Things go awry.
Great.
Why doesn't it work out?
Like,
Not to be all in
like,
the business like that.
like
but-
personal, like he became bisexual. Not that that's bad, but like he just wasn't into women anymore. Like that's not his phase of life, and I was just like, okay.
Okay.
And and honestly, personally, I don't care if my man is bisexual, because at the end of the day, like what I said, if you're with me, you should only want to be like, we're gonna
Only
have
be
that
with
talk.
me. Yeah.
And if you ever feel like you want to, then do it. Like tell me though. I don't like the sneakiness. So because I'm grown enough and I'm secure enough in myself to be like, got it, bye. Like I can just, I don't, and that's also another thing. I'm not depending on anybody for my happiness. Even though my friend does have a really good relationship, and they don't see each other every day, there is still that codependency because they text each other. Like it's still, they're in constant communication. So I guess it is kind of low-key toxic.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Because I have friends like that too. Like they'll text 25/8, but like
It works out
that's
for them.
yeah.
There's not- I don't think
that's
there's nothing
their
wrong with
happiness. That's
texting
their best
25/8.
friend. That's not
Yeah,
awful.
But they are codependent on each other. So like, let's say if they get into a fight, she's sad for the whole day, and it's just like, but I'm your best friend. I'm here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm still your support. So like for me, I've never had a boyfriend, so I've never really been codependent on anybody like that. I've been codependent on my friends, and they've let me down because they had boyfriends. So I kind of know how to navigate that space, if that makes sense. Or I can try, or I can see how to. I don't know.
That was a that's
Going back to her thing,
Oh, there's
Shelby's
Sorry.
We'll go back to me.
point
thought it was going
point
back to
as
me, I'm
like
sorry.
not being in a relationship because you feel like I mean, please, if I'm like putting words in your mouth, but I believe like you were saying, like you haven't found anyone like on your level as far as like just emotionally and like being independent and maybe being comfortable just maybe being yourself around or talking about issues.
Yeah,
that-
kind of just like I can talk to them about certain things. Like we can talk about race, we can talk about sport, like anything. We can talk about a lot of things, but then I'll be like, so if we have a, like, I don't know, like if we have a kid together, how would you feel if they were gay? The guy would be like, I would be so upset. That's a turn.
So just like moral, so just like
Mm.
moral wise, like
Moralize, yeah.
moral rise, and like
Okay.
you'll
Okay,
seem
okay,
like
okay.
you'll almost be there, and then you'll say one thing, and it's just like, what? Who are you? Like you know, it's like how? Where's the disconnect?
That does suck.
Okay.
Wait, so you could be in a deep situation and you could be like really feeling the brother, but if you guys disagree on like a moral standpoint like that, would you like reconsider the whole relationship as a whole, or you
Or would
just
you
want
work
to
it
talk
out?
about? But then again, you kind of do have to consider because if
Well-
you want to date this person, there's a possibility that
But
that's
And
when
there's
not
work
other
it out,
factors
though.
too,
Yeah,
because
so I
sometimes they
understand,
don't
I
have, they
understand
don't
it.
put in the effort either. Like there's also,
I get it.
It is
I'm
a lot
not
of
kind of
factors
exposing
that
my
goes-
situation.
So-
But there's
No, but that's-
distance, and it's like you don't even show up, and now you want to say this crazy stuff. I can't.
No, I get you. I get
Now
you.
you wanna say all this
I
crazy
get
shit,
you.
you ain't even
I
here.
understand.
definitely
You're not
get
even here, bro. Like, but
It's
yeah.
funny, but would you work around that? Like he says no now, but throughout the distance, say shit were to happen, like would you be able to make that work if that was a thing?
Me now, I kind of say yeah, but like me, maybe last year, no. I'd been like, nah. But my mom's talked to me about that. She was like, look, you gotta like give people a chance to grow.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
everybody's gonna be, even though, you know, no. I mean, don't hold expectations for people. I think that's what I need to let go of too. Is like except for like there's certain things, you know what I'm saying? You have like your standards.
You have your deal breakers and you have the things that are like we can accommodate.
Yeah, and I'm down for I'm down for compromise too. I feel like that's very essential in a healthy relationship.
1000%.
But like when it's like I don't know, like 'cause that's like red flags too. Like at least when we talk about emotional things like that, like emotional level,
Yeah.
going back to that, I feel like that is a huge issue that can make little issue. You know what I'm saying?
Like in the future, it can become
Yeah.
something big, like
Really big.
a major issue. I think it's definitely important to at least have the same morals as somebody, like
Yeah.
morally be on the same page.
I feel like they could change though. That's a great
That's-
can grow,
that's a
yeah.
great topic that you now think about it.
Yeah.
What?
Because with the thing of, well, first I was thinking about situationships in a whole, like that term in general, because I feel like you were saying that people are going into relationships for the sake of like feeling, when I think people are just getting more into situationships than relationships.
Just like casually dating, kind of.
No,
Casually dating, casually talking, and like people are with the dude, but they're not really together, but they having problems as if they're in a relationship.
Yeah.
Is that a problem? Is that bad?
That's where I have a problem. Yeah.
Really?
You don't get, it's annoying.
I've been in a lot of situations myself too.
I know Dante.
So
I don't
So-
like it. I hate that.
I don't hate it,
I
but
don't think it's awful, but I'm just kind of like, there's a certain standpoint of like, all right, yo, what the fuck we gonna do?
I
but
hate
why
it
does it have to get to that point? Why can't we just enjoy what we have right
No,
now?
Because if I'm with you
Yeah.
for 2 fucking years and you still don't want to
That's
claim me
different.
and vice versa,
That is
like,
different.
That's what I mean. Oh,
Sorry.
sorry. That's what I don't like.
It's coming out.
That
It's
hit
But-
home,
loud
that
now.
hit home.
But right now, like for me, because I am like, there's a lot of things going on in my own life. I do not have time for a relationship. So I
Yeah.
feel like right now, like situationship is fine. Like we don't have to be up each other every day, but
I don't even necessarily need the title, but you have to know where the fuck we stand at one point. Like,
and I gotta be secure with you. Like I just gotta know, like you're not talking to all these other girls when we hang out. You know, you're about me. I
And we
know.
don't even have to have the title. You just have to know that I'm yours and yours mine at the end of the day.
Yeah.
In the situationship?
In the situationship.
Or just be honest. If you
'Cause
don't
if
want it
you're-
to be like that, then tell me, and I can go and do my own. I will go and do my own thing.
Okay, so you guys
Yeah,
think
true,
that
very true.
okay, so you guys think that communication in a or communication as a whole in any type of relationship, either friendship, situationship, anything like that, communication is the key.
Yes.
Always.
And comprehension too.
Because you may be speaking things, but it doesn't mean the other person understands what you're saying completely. Or can
But does that
comprehend
make
it.
but for okay, personally for me in a situationship, my communication was never the best. Never the best.
That's your fault.
My fault, of course. So I guess it goes back to like a logical thing with me, right? So in my head, if I'm not showing you that communication, like I'll text, like I've always been a person who texts everybody, like every day if we text each other, we text each other every day. I don't have a problem with that. I don't.
Dante definitely sends a good morning text
Of
every morning.
course, I'm the king of good morning, good night. You know what I'm saying? But
Did you eat today? I know you be saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that's your line, Dante.
Say what?
Did you eat today?
Yeah, I do.
That's
I wish
cute.
I had
Gotta
that
make sure-
message. Shit.
But even if I do all that, that doesn't mean.
That's showing that you
anything.
care. That's showing that you care. No,
Is
yes, it
that
does.
showing that I
Yes,
care, or
it
I'm just being
does.
a nice person?
No,
Nah,
you being
bro.
a whole. You playing a game. You
How is
playing a
that
game.
playing a game?
You playing games. You playing games. If you didn't
Because
care,
I'm a nice human being.
Nah, shut the
I want
fuck
to say
up.
good morning because
No.
it's a natural nice
no,
human
I
thing
never
to
got
say
no good morning
morning.
text. I
I'm a
never
nice
got no good
person,
night text.
and
You
I
never
don't
asked me
do
if
that
I'm
to
fed.
people.
Well, y'all looking at the wrong guys. Like,
No, I'm talking about Dante specifically.
oh, Dante.
Yeah.
Oh, no, Dante not trying to get with you. He not. Oh,
The-
I'm sorry.
I
Oh,
see,
never
I
mind. I'm
see,
sorry,
I
Dante.
see,
I'm sorry. I'm
No,
sorry.
I see,
no.
I see,
If
I
I'm not
see,
trying to
I
give it
see,
to you,
I
you're right.
see.
You're gonna,
I
but
see,
like
I
you're
see.
gonna know if I'm trying to make effort. You're gonna know if I'm trying
Yeah.
to really get with
So
you.
when you send those texts, is it for the sake of you don't really care about if they have a good morning? You just trying to get with that
No, no,
person?
not in
Yeah,
that
just for
aspect.
face.
Just
That's
like
what I was
that's just
getting
his way of showing interest that he wants to maybe
no,
kinda pursue
if
or
I'm
talk.
saying good morning to somebody,
Oh,
and
it's
good
like you're
night,
literally just being nice and trying.
Same.
to...
Good morning.
I'm a nice human being. I'm saying good morning. I'm good night. If you text me, I'm gonna text you back. It's not. 'Cause
No, that's a
if-
huge
Bro.
thing. No, that's a huge thing.
I think
Okay.
that's my big
No,
thing with
that's
the
a
emotion
huge
thing.
thing.
It's like, why can't everything just be black and white?
Because
Why is there a
no.
gray area in certain
I mean,
aspects?
understand.
I can
understand
get
that.
where you're coming from, but like it's the thing of like you said you're doing it to be a nice person. But you're saying good morning to the person that you have genuine interest in that you want to potentially pursue,
Like
right?
you don't text everybody in your contacts list good morning because
No, of course not.
That's what I'm saying. You'll be texting the people that you genuinely want to talk to
Like
or
you have
see
interest
later.
in,
You're
yeah.
not saying
yeah.
so you subconsciously in your head are like, I'm just saying it because I want to be a nice person because I want to make sure that they're having a great day.
And I like this person.
Yeah, subconsciously it's like I genuinely do appreciate this person. I like what she does. Like I want to be with her, so I'm going to say good morning. Like that's a huge thing. Good morning and good night text. Like it's a huge thing. It's that a huge thing when you're first in a relationship with someone. Like
It just shows interest. Like that
It distinguishes the
you're
guy
concerned.
to me too, because I've talked to a lot of guys and some of them don't, some of them do, or they want, or some of them look at it
Let me
like
drink. Y'all wilding right
it's
now.
no, it's weird. Like some
Want a beer,
people,
Dante?
it's really weird.
some people
I do.
emphasize it more because I don't really
I got
see
you.
good mornings or good nights as anything, personally. But like I know I've been in a situationship where a guy was like, "Good morning, beautiful. Good night, beautiful."
Okay, yes.
Like that's like their
that's
thing.
something. That's
and
something.
then like there's also things like when the dude doesn't text good morning for the first time, they'd be like, yo, he didn't text me good morning. What's good with him? Like, what the fuck? Da-da-da.
But
I've
is
had a guy
that
do
my
that to
fault?
me.
Is that my fault? That you're thinking that consciously in your
It's
head?
not your fault, but when you're texting me every day good morning and you don't text me for this one morning, it's kind of like, is he good? And I'm not saying in the sense of like, this is what I want, but I just know it's like the same kind of power that you have with good morning, good night text is the same kind of power that people have when they withhold an unfollow on Instagram. Like, there should not be so much power when you unfollow someone on Instagram, but like, you get butthurt when you see your friend unfollow you on Instagram.
Yeah, it depends on how much you really care about what that person thinks about you.
Yeah.
And what you're doing.
I say I'm talking on the podcast, and then a month from now, I unfollow the Soapbox podcast. You guys are gonna be like, the fuck she unfollow us?
Because you take it.
Yeah, I mean, no, we don't look that deep. I know a lot of people do though, but that's definitely a big thing about.
It's taking it personal. I feel like women do take things. I don't know. I can't
They
even
shouldn't
say
be
women.
dumb about good morning, good night text. I think it's just, it's weird.
It's not weird. No, it's not. It's not weird, bro. No, it's not.
It's weird. No, it's really
I don't
weird
see
because
any
it's
connotation.
like a game.
It's
like
not
a
that
weird
common for some. You go to work one day, everybody says good morning to you at work. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? So if I fall asleep, not text somebody back from the night before, and I see I didn't text her back, I'm gonna say good morning. That's what I do. Now I don't text her back.
I mean, you only want to say I feel like you only say that if you want like a conversation or something out of it. Like
That's
you're
a
not.
fact.
You're just gonna say good morning and just like leave it from there.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna text her back, and yeah, we're gonna have a conversation. Okay, cool. We have a conversation. But what I'm saying, and maybe again, this is just me. Like, this is past Dante. This is not me right now. But this is I guess I don't put my. It's like little stuff like that doesn't mean anything to me.
But it means something to. It might mean something to
really
a lot to another person.
From a
though.
girl spectrum now, because you're saying it doesn't mean to anything from a guy's perspective, but like.
It means
Yo,
everything to y'all. But my thing
not
is
everything.
why.
I just
want to know why. Because it's not the norm.
Like,
You don't see that as it's not the norm for someone to say
care.
good morning. You don't care.
I don't
Okay,
care.
so she don't care. She doesn't.
But
care
I see where
it's coming
because
from.
I used to care.
Okay.
Like, yeah, I used to be like, but it depends on how I'm feeling you too. Like if I'm talking to,
back to that.
it depends on how I'm
Communication.
feeling you. Because if I, like, because I haven't really felt anybody in a while, so that's why I'm like, I don't really care. But no, like when I was feeling this guy and if he didn't text me back or he didn't, if I get left on red, I feel a certain kind of way.
Okay, so going back to the communication, where I said I don't think you need to have a good communication in a situationship. I personally don't think so. I guess I've been in a lot of situationships that communication wasn't the best, but
when you did see each other, it
was
all
good
good.
vibes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And without even communicating what we are, we both knew what it was. The
I
only
like
thing that we did
I like
respectfully was like, hey, I'm actually talking to this other guy. I'm trying to feel him a little bit.
That's
I got
perfect. That's how you
what
do
is
it.
needed,
So
though.
that's why when
That's
I
so
said-
rare though. Like
That's
that.
yeah, like
hell.
what?
It's rare as hell.
But that's what's needed.
People
rare
are like
as
so
hell.
That's what I'm
jealous and
looking-
possessive. Like they only want you, and like it's so crazy now.
Exactly, and I feel like I feel like what gets that's why I disagree with you. I love the past tense. I love situationships because it's like
I mean, it's
I put that
ideal.
out there. Because it's like why can't we just enjoy our time that we have together? Enjoy that we're doing this and leave it at that. Why does
That's my
everything have to
vibe
be
right
an
now.
emotional attachment to it?
Because that's just human.
Because that's human nature. When you spend
yeah.
time
I
with someone
hear
for
you.
a while, you're gonna start growing something, whether it's staying mutual for the other person or whatever. Like whatever it is, like it's constant growth every day.
That's true.
So whether or not it's the feelings that are growing or it's just your hair that's growing, it just depends on the person and how they're feeling that day when they're hanging out. And the same thing with you're talking about situationships. Like I think we get so headstrong of wanting to know what's going on for the sake of like we want to make sure that we're not being disrespected at the same time. We're not saying no, don't
Which
go
I get.
don't go see out other women, don't go hang out with da-da-da. You're talking to me so you can only talk to me. It's more so like for the safety of my
But
fucking
that's an
body.
ownership thing.
For the safety of my fucking body, for the safety of knowing what's getting
Yeah,
put
I
into
agree
my
with you on
body,
that.
if we are having intercourse, I
Yup.
need to at least understand that.
I agree.
I need to know. I
That's
don't
the
need
part
to be
too.
like, yo, what's your heart rate? What's your temperature? Let me see the blood test on your fucking.
Are you clean, bro?
Yeah, like, are you
No,
clean?
I
Like, I need to
respect
make
that,
sure before
yeah.
you do something. Like,
I
when I'm
agree.
messing with you, like,
And I also feel like I don't know. I feel like girls care about that more than like guys do.
Oh yeah, that's a
They
fact.
bring that up all the time, and it's like,
fact.
why do guys not care about their health like
We some
that?
nasty niggas. That's
Well,
why.
I mean, I feel like women just get affected more when it comes to
Okay.
like stuff like that. I mean, like I said, guys, it's not as big of a deal.
Vagina is very sensitive.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I hear
Vagina
you.
is very
Yeah,
sensitive.
it's a
I
very
respect
yeah.
you.
And-
I respect that.
But also to go up what you said about kind of like what we've made situationships to be. I feel like also or like the respect thing, not so much like for safety, because I agree, but I feel like through social media, girls have kind of like switch or put an expectation for other girls and what their ideal situationship should be. So like if he is not driving to you, if he is not doing all this stuff, you know, if he is not like
he don't got
doing,
the coin, he ain't doing this and that.
if he's
third,
not going
sis, why you
troops
with
over,
him?
why are you with him? Do better. If he is not, you know, basically your servant, why are you with
If he
him?
ain't your sugar daddy, why you? Yeah.
And I feel like that's low key very damaging, and that's
Very
what's
toxic,
been
yeah.
messing me up a
Very
little
toxic.
bit. Yeah, because it's like at the same time, like they have a point. Like, you know, you should always remember your worth and always hold yourself to a high standard. But at the same time,
That doesn't always have to be your standard though. Like you know where you come from and where you stand.
we're all human beings, and you can, you know, just be more humble and be more like in tune with everybody else.
But I don't think there's nothing wrong for someone to have expectations towards another human being. Like, so if I'm talking to someone, like, let's say from a girl's perspective, I'm a girl, I'm talking to a guy, it's not a bad thing if one of my checklists, I guess we'd say, or like an expectation or preference that I would have, is that for my man to have a car, that for my man to at least have, I don't care what job he has, just a good paying job, I don't care what the job is.
It's
You
kind
know,
of like
it's nothing wrong with having expectations towards that.
it's also like the small expectation that we all have in the back of our head saying, "I want to be with you, but you can't have no kids." And everyone now has a child.
Oh yeah, well yeah,
That's
true.
a huge one.
But also B. Simone, she got called out for it, for what she said with Nick Cannon. I don't want my man to have a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
I want him to be an entrepreneur just like me. And it's like, but he's working his ass off at that 9 to 5. You don't know
Talk
if he's
about
doing
it.
that on the side.
Yup.
I think that's like, and that's like the form of like the toxicity about like all these high expectations, having your situationship go through hoops for you, or else he ain't really about you. And I feel like,
Should have talked about this today instead of last week.
What, the B Simone shit?
Yeah.
Why?
oh,
Just because we on it again.
Oh.
oh yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
No, go see it.
But
Sorry,
like
sorry.
it was funny though, because I saw it and I was just like, girl.
No, but that us though.
It's like and even like younger girls though, they are feeding into it too. They're like, if he doesn't pay for my date, you know, but it's like he's 12. Like, what you think this is? Like,
I mean, hey, I definitely understand. Like, you definitely want somebody who has something to offer you. Like, you don't
Yeah.
want to be in something where it's like it's just dead end. Like,
Yep.
but read the room. I don't know.
yeah, you should
Read the
definitely like
room.
read the room and read everyone.
Yep.
Everyone's situation is different. Like,
Mhm.
it's not black and white. Like, everyone has a different scenario.
And
Bro.
effort is important. Like, if he's trying, don't kill
Effort
a guy
is
for trying.
important.
Don't kill a you know.
Hey, my grandfather and my dad always used to tell me when I was younger, and it's so important to have like older people like give you game.
OGs,
too.
bro.
They used to tell me
OGs.
like, yo, you shouldn't be talking to like a woman if you don't have anything to offer her. Like that's what I was always taught. Like if you don't have like, you know, if you don't have enough money to take her somewhere, don't even think about like.
I agree
doing
with
something.
that.
Like you need to have yourself in order and have something to offer, because that's at the end of the day, like it's not the only thing that's important, but it's definitely like major that you know you're coming with something.
It's like that level of it's the craftsmanship, it's the courtesy,
Yeah.
it's the etiquette of not necessarily like guys always have to bring something to offer to the table, because that's not what we're getting at. It's just the etiquette of wanting the respect of a lady. Like, how would you treat your lady? Like,
Yeah.
how would you treat your mother or your sister in a room? Like, how would you you would open the door for your mother? It's just things like that.
Yeah,
like
and
taking
it
care
doesn't have to
of.
be just like on a money kind of like level.
Yeah.
It's just on like
And
a kind
respect,
courtesy,
like how-
respect. Yeah.
Because don't get it twisted. Like, the girl could clearly take care of herself and take
Of
care of
course.
her own. But it's the sake of like, what are you gonna do to show that you really fuck with her and that you're gonna be with her?
No,
'Cause
that's
you
true.
will- 'cause
Men,
I
I
feel
feel like men have to sell themselves to women.
And like, people are gonna think that's fucked up, but it's the same thing about like
I don't
black
think it's
women
fucked up.
always backing up black men. We will always be there for you. You gotta prove it to us that you're gonna be there for us.
Of course.
Yeah.
100%.
I totally agree with that.
1000%.
Oh, that's a bar right there. That's a bar.
Cater to
Um,
you. I gotta
damn.
say shot.
How is it like being single? Yo, I feel like the game. I don't even know if I could like
Oh,
be
it
single
sucks.
now. It's just
I'm dead.
I just
Honestly, the single stage nowadays is kind of hard, bro.
yeah. Like how do you even talk to people now? Like
Easily.
I think everybody's so ultra sensitive nowadays. It's
Well,
so
depends on who
hard
you're
to like
talking to.
talk, but
I feel like people's like. It's
I
just
can't
it's
say
so
that 'cause
hard
I
to
was just
just keep
hyping
a
up
conversation.
situationships.
Like how do you meet somebody and like really hold the conversation?
Well, how did
like,
you guys
so
meet your
hard.
girls and hold the conversation?
see? Like I don't. It's hard for me to like meet women. Like just nowadays, it's so everything's based online. Like
Yeah.
most
It
of the
is.
women I
Online,
meet, it's like
Especially
out.
with the pandemic too, it
Money.
messed everything up.
Oh,
Like-
but that's the thing, though. We say that it's online, and like that's kind of bad.
but it's just a
But
reality.
I just found
like,
I found so much irony behind that. I actually know 4 really strong relationships
that happen online
off
like,
of Tinder.
No, it
Yeah.
happens.
Off
It
of on
happens.
Tinder.
It's just so
And it's for
random.
this. It's not random. They put work into the conversations that they've been having.
Well, I guess if those two are really interested, I guess it's
That's
just,
what I'm saying,
It's
like-
hard to like just really get interested in like one person.
And want to
nowadays.
invest in yeah.
And for me, I just have issues with like dating apps because a lot of guys
They have an intent, like
They have an intent.
Just one thing, yeah.
and that's it. And
Well,
it's
that
like,
was the
but
thing, yeah.
and they will gas you up and
Yeah.
make you think that it's not that one thing, but it's always that one.
I don't want to
thing.
say that for. I definitely.
Not
don't
It's
say
not
that
for all
every guy.
because
But it's
they had to go
crazy.
through a lot of people and talking to get to that one person to finally find like, oh, this is the one for me. And I want to
Yeah.
say they're all in pretty good. I want to say they're in good, happy, healthy relationships because it's been longer than like a year and 2.
Hey man, I think once you really start talking to somebody, like I think you start to know their intent. Like I feel
Yeah.
like if you're really serious, you will prove to the person that you'll discipline yourself and you'll do
You'll
whatever to
discipline
get
yourself.
to make them happy. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just super hard. I feel like nowadays, just because it's so easy to talk to a whole bunch of people and a lot of conversations just come and go. So it's like
And
a lot of people don't
conversations
take
can
it
get
serious.
misread too through text
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you're not seeing someone's nonverbal cues and you can't look in their eyes and be like,
You can't
Yeah.
tell their tone off.
yeah,
of
are you
text.
serious?
Exactly.
You know, so like that's also where I fall off with guys too because I might be like, what, and he'd be like, I didn't even mean it like that, and I'm like, all right. Well.
Honestly, I feel her because I've been in situationships or I've been talking to women where like through text the conversation flows so awesomely, but when in person,
That too.
it's like,
Oh
yo,
my
you're a
God.
totally different person face to face. During text, you was mad dope.
Mhm.
Like I fucked with you. Now in person, it's like I'm pulling to get a
Teeth.
conversation.
And it's I mean also
I
there's a
always
lot of
thought this was
expectation
weird.
too when you come from an online relationship and
Yeah.
you meet in person because it's like, is it going to be as amazing as we're texting
Yeah.
like are we going to get off, and then when you don't, it's like, or even if they're not as tall as you thought they
I
were,
think
it's
that's
just
the
like,
thing with the expectations, though. Is like
Yeah.
people get over anxious and they're worrying about something that hasn't even happened yet.
exactly.
And then when it finally comes to happening, like that's why people like when their expectations drop, they get so disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
But I get it. So I get it why people date more, or I guess meet people online more than in person, because everybody's so on the move nowadays.
It's also
So it's so
True.
hard to have that one-on-one. Plus, it's hard to even approach people.
But these
not.
apps are
face.
very.
It's not that.
These
Karan just
apps
think
are
it's
very-
hard. I think it's hard now.
I'm just old school. Like even before I was in a relationship, like my friends know this. I'm the type to just like go to a bar by myself and like
I think that's
just
yeah.
chill or go to a museum. I just like being by myself and actually like
I think
meeting
that's so-
and
I was about
interacting
to
with
call
people.
you
I think
weird
that's
until you
dope,
said
yeah,
it's
it.
it's
dope, but it's so
rare.
rare to.
No, I like that's my thing. Like I
But
I
just,
it's
can't go to a
rare-
bar alone. I can't do that.
I do that like
Nah, I've done
I
it
used to
before
do that
too,
every day
but
at work.
It's just so rare for it to be like perfectly executed. Like he used to go to a bar or just do whatever. Like he used to just go up to a woman and just perfectly execute and got the number at the end. You know
I
what I'm
understand
saying?
Why
not
not like
everybody,
that?
not everyone can do that. So
Yeah,
I-
because a
everyone
lot of
can do
women
that.
usually have their guard up,
But
which
I-
is understandable.
But I feel
because
like it
a
works
random
out
guy,
better in the long run, just because like you actually have that physical like interaction and you can
First,
actually
yeah.
feel somebody out. So
I
in
hear
the
you.
long run, I feel like it does help, but it
think
definitely
it's the
like takes
best.
something like
And also
you have to work up to that.
I think
for
it's
the
best.
woman's side, at least for me in college, I was really just like stuck on that fact. Like it's the guy's responsibility to come up to me and say, "Hey," because I'm very shy. I don't know. When I first meet someone, I'm very like awkward, especially if I think you're cute. Like I'm just not gonna talk. It's like,
Facts.
but so I need that person to bring me out of my shell
Yeah.
personally. But like I know, I don't know. I kind of had to like maneuver that. Like I had to get over that. I had to drink a lot. Sometimes I get really drunk, and it's just like,
Drinking
girl,
helps,
do
yeah.
it.
It
And
It does.
things happen when you do it. You get what you want, but at the same time, it's like, why do I have to do that? Like,
Honestly,
I hear that.
you shouldn't. And honestly, that used to be like when I was single. That used to be the fun part. Like I used to love like meeting women who are mad shy and like just try to make them laugh. Like that's such a lost art. I feel like
It's
nowadays,
it's
and I feel
hard,
like
bro.
the younger generation should really like once
they're
things
gonna
start
have a tough
opening
time.
back out. Like
They're
you
gonna
should
have a
just
tough time.
really. I don't know, just try to get to know people. Like, try to, I don't know. It just helps, like, build personality and build
Yeah,
character.
stop
I agree.
staring. A lot of people
Yeah.
like to stare, and they're like,
People are, like, super awkward with it. It's,
or they like, yeah, they try to be
Yeah.
like, oh, you didn't say hi to me. Like you were, like how I don't,
Oh,
I
it's
don't
like that.
know.
Because you couldn't read my mind and the subtle hints that I was throwing at you, it's just over.
Yeah, and I'm also like growing up. I've been told I'm intimidating looking, so I don't know. Like I don't think that's true now, but it's just like that
I
was
think
one of
because
like.
you just ooze like you have a lot of power with
you
you.
have a lot of confidence. You
A
just
lot of
look very
confidence.
confident, so
And I guess
that
some
can
guys
intimidate a
are
lot of
used to
guys.
not
Thanks.
Yeah.
talking to girls who don't have a lot of confidence with you. But like you walk in the building and you know like you that bitch. You know what I'm saying?
See, thank you. But that's crazy because
Because you don't see that
why
for
don't-
yourself, or
I don't really see that for myself, but also like if that's the case, then why aren't guys like?
It's intimidating.
it's intimidating
yeah,
for
I
a
think
guy.
Michael said it on the last podcast.
Yeah.
He thinks that a lot of men
Turn on.
are scared or get scared of
Turned
women
off.
with a lot of power
Yeah.
or power.
But if you talk to me, it's like what? You know, well, not
Yeah.
like
But
that,
they
but it's
wouldn't
like
know that.
They wouldn't know unless they
even
talk to you.
know.
Yeah, there's a lot of assumptions that get thrown around nowadays
That's
too.
true.
Everybody assumes a lot. So,
Yeah, it's always wrong to assume. That's how you get in a lot of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
so I think when you do get into a relationship, I think it's fun nowadays. But getting to that point is probably the hardest.
Yeah.
It's been in a while.
Fun. You think?
It's a
I don't know,
journey.
man.
I don't know. I like situationships, bro. But remember, I had a problem with commitment back then, so that's why I had a problem with commitment. So that's why I enjoy situationships. Plus, I wasn't ready for a relationship back then. I just wanted to do my own thing. So
I feel you, Dante. I mean, I don't feel you. but I feel you.
you know what I mean. So that was my thing.
I just.
I like talking about relationships though.
Yeah, it's fun.
How do you guys feel about? I mean, I know how probably these two feel. How do you feel about like your man just? Well, I feel like women don't really care. Like just
What?
going through. How do you feel about going through like your man's phone? Do you feel like
yeah, we talked
like
about that.
when it comes to privacy in a relationship, not even just phone, but like, do you believe that you should have a certain type of level of privacy in a relationship, or do you feel like everything should really just be like laid out and be open? Do you believe in
Privacy within the relationship.
privacy? I mean, of course, not
That's
just
a
in
really
privacy.
good question.
But I've had conversations over the past few weeks, and a lot of people are bringing up or saying to me that they believe once you're in a relationship, you should kind of just lay everything out. And I mean, of course, you should try to respect privacy, but if your partner wants to inquire on information or get your phone or your passwords, that you should just do it.
Okay, no, I think if I don't agree with like looking through people's phones and people's personal items. I think that's kind of like
Too invasive, kind of.
very invasive and kind of like I'm not your mom. I'm not your like therapist. Like I'm not gonna be clocking you like that. Like that's the level of trust within your partner. So if you don't have that level of trust, reassess that. But I do think once you're in a relationship, you shouldn't really be afraid to tell your partner about anything that you've been through.
Quick
If they're
question.
cool with
Okay, so I think everybody agrees that there are no secrets in a relationship.
yeah.
Okay. Is it a bad thing if someone were to withhold information from their significant other?
No.
I mean, it depends on what.
Yeah, I
It
do.
really
It really
If
does
we're
depend
talking
on the
about
information.
privacy,
If it's like a
I
kid
think
or
it
something,
does.
then that's
Nah,
different.
I'm talking about that. Let's say,
I
because if
think
we're
it
talking
is.
about,
Oh no, I don't know.
because if we're talking
I
about
think that's
privacy
interesting.
in a relationship, 'cause I think each person deserves some type of privacy in a relationship. Going back to my original statement that I said before about, you used to have sex with a girl, blah blah blah, and then y'all friends.
Why are you looking at me when you say
I
that?
don't
It's looking dead in my eye. when you say that.
if we go and if you should tell your girlfriend or the girl you're talking to about that friend that you guys used to have sex relationships years ago, but now you guys are just strictly friends. Going back to that privacy thing, if that's something that doesn't need to be like
Just out there.
out there, do I have every right to just not speak about it?
Yeah, if it doesn't come up, I think you can withhold that information. But if if her name shows up on an Instagram thing, or she likes your pic,
And
or
asks
she
you, "What's that?"
comments, not even likes, but like comments and is like hard eyes, and she's like,
Oh yeah,
then you can be like, well, back in the day. But some people don't even do that. They're like, that's just my friend.
But what if she's like around you? Like, let's say you guys are at an event and like she's talking to you guys. Like, do you feel like, like the man should say something?
No,
Like,
I don't know.
That's
a
the
good
thing
question.
because talking about, we had this conversation last time, but it's
Yeah.
a thing of like, what if she
It goes into
really
privacy.
still is relevant in your life? Or what
Define
if-
relevant. Define relevant.
What if like she was your friend, she's your close ass friend, and y'all hit it once and we're like, okay, we did that,
Yeah.
but that's not gonna happen again because
Uh-huh.
that's just like no, like that didn't feel right. We don't want to like just no. We're just gonna keep it a buck and we're gonna stay friends because that was not okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2 years pass after that, and y'all are still dumb close.
Yeah.
if you're
And
close,
then-
I feel like if you're close, maybe you should say something.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
that's what
But-
I think.
Why?
Like, does it need
Just
to?
out of respect,
Out of
like,
respect.
so.
Because
because-
the girl's gonna get tight about it regardless.
Get tight
How
about
would you
what?
How would you feel if your girl had a sexual relationship with? Well, I
A
don't know, 'cause
dude.
A guy, and then he's like comes
and
around, like,
he's the best man. You know, let's say girls can have best mans, and he's the best man at your wedding, and he's giving a nice little speech, and he's talking about your wife.
And they fucked like
And
5
they
years ago
fucked.
once.
How would you feel?
5 years ago.
but if you're so, because I'm not gonna lie, there's definitely
Before I
been.
even came in the picture. I wasn't in the picture. That's
I,
number
I
one.
mean, yeah, I get.
I was
get
my
that.
fault, bro.
No, I'm not.
I wasn't in the. I wasn't in the picture. You know what I mean? I wasn't in the picture. So, oh shit. I think my thing fucked up. Yo. I was so I wasn't in the picture. That's number one, right? I wasn't in the picture. That's number one. Number two, I guess I'm the type that is the past, and I feel like if anything was to happen again, it would have been happened again.
No, because you never know what
never
can.
know what can
you never know what can happen in the future. Like I said, if
If
you're
it's
still
bothering-
friends with them,
If if
You
it's
should say
bothering your girl,
How
I would say
would it bo-
something. If it's not, then like
Mhm.
I would keep it a buck and be like, you don't have to stress about her because it's also like a. What is it called when your self esteem is low, but not like
Insecure?
Yeah, like you low key insecure of yourself when you should be sure of yourself.
Have you guys seen Sex in the City?
The
Nah.
movie.
Heard about it?
I've always
Movies?
wanted to watch
Seen
it
a
when I was a
few
kid.
You see? Okay, so there's well, what we're talking about right now is a whole episode, and Carrie is in love with this guy named Mr. Big, right?
Mr. Big.
Mr. Big.
Oh, wait, the dude that she's been dating for like
Yeah.
11 plus years.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, on and off, right? So
Yeah,
right now
yeah,
they're
yeah,
off.
yeah.
Right now they're off. But she is in love with Loki, like that's her soulmate. But they're off. He did her dirty. He has a whole wife, right? He got married and is moved on. Always wants. The guys are always moved on, right?
the guys never moved on.
They never moved
Never.
on. But she got her whole new man. His name's Aiden, and he's on paper perfect. He's tall. He listens to her. He does everything, right?
But he not like Mr. Biggs,
But
though.
he's
He's
not
not Mr.
like
Big.
he's
Not
not
like
Mr.
Mr. Big.
Big. Tell me why
Shout out to
Carrie.
Mr. Biggs, man.
Shout out to Mr.
Carrie
Big.
goes and cheats on Aiden while he's away at some convention with Mr. Big. And she has like that whole issue with herself. She's like, should I tell Aiden? Should I not? Should I not? Whatever you do in the dark comes to the light. So
Yeah.
eventually it did come out and he was crushed and she was crushed. So I feel like to save yourself all that issue, just be honest, you know, if you feel like it's an issue, because obviously if Mr. Big was not her love of her life, she would not even have thought to answer the phone. But if you would pick up the phone for that person, I would just tell your significant other, like, look,
Yeah, that's the thing. I was about to say, like, that predicament's kind of hard because they still seen each other and they still have feelings for each other compared to someone who was, like, a hit it and quit it. We were
Yeah.
probably drunk and we couldn't even, like...
Exactly.
but you still see each other. You're still, like, if they're the friend thing, like, if you're still close and you're still hanging out with the bros, smoking, doing movie nights,
Yeah.
you still have that platonic bond. And, like, with your boyfriend or girlfriend, you want that huge platonic bond, too. Like, your girlfriend or boyfriend should also be your best friend, too, in a sense. Not maybe your
up your ass
best.
and know everything, but like
like,
at the same time,
definitely-
because that was a topic on Blackish where the couple, they're not best friends, but they're so compatible for each other that they stay.
That's
But they're not
interesting.
best friends with each other.
That's interesting.
And they made a whole they had a whole episode about how they couldn't, not necessarily that they couldn't be best friends, but like they weren't the same person. Like they couldn't give each other that best friend feel that the way that they want
So
to.
yeah, I guess if the both two parties recognize that, it could work. But it's hard to make two people come to that.
See, now that I'm thinking about this, like, I'm starting to realize
Talk to him.
this. I really don't want to put like my business out. I hate doing that, man. I don't know. I
Party.
realized like in the past, like I've have like brought my girlfriend around like girls that I probably did something with, but if I really know nothing's ever gonna happen again and that was the past, like my girlfriend doesn't need to know about that.
Cause
But
you're relevant.
Yeah.
but
No, that's what
That's what I was saying.
Oh, okay. So we.
Well,
agree
I
with
know,
you.
cause no, I'm saying this because before I was like, you probably should tell like your girl, but I don't know. Now that I think about it, it's like if you know nothing's gonna happen, but if you know something is gonna happen,
that's
it's like
not
why
about-
would you tell your girl? Like,
Yeah.
it kind of sounds stupid.
I
like-
understand if it's like a best friend like Rachel or something like that. You know, if I had a
No,
best friend
even
on
that I
level,
wouldn't understand because y'all and Rachel had one drunk night. I'm not saying that this has never happened. This is theoretically like
Yeah.
just something as an example. This is an
I know,
example.
I know.
This is an
That's gonna make
example.
it seem like something.
This is an example.
Dante over here sweating now, taking a sip of his water.
This is an example. Y'all and Rachel had one drunk night.
Yeah.
Y'all agreed to never do that shit again because y'all were drunk.
Yeah.
Why are y'all bringing it up again?
If it means nothing.
That's what I was saying,
okay.
bro. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, no, you should tell your girl.
No, like,
It's like you
like,
should.
no.
It's like you should. But
it's like the thing about being insecure. Like your girl, like
Yeah.
I
she
understand
has to
why
be
you
secure in
do it.
herself
I
to
totally
understand, like
it.
that's still gonna be your best friend.
Yeah.
Like regardless of what happens, because like that's your girl since high school. Like she's gonna have to understand that like Rachel is not going to leave the picture. But whatever happened that night, also with y'all two and understanding, like y'all, it never existed within y'all two. So why do you have to bring it up as if you're trying to make it exist now?
honestly, you just got to know your girl, because some girls they could like
understand
they could
that.
take
That's
they could
true.
take that
That's
and
true,
they
too.
could understand that. And some women
Just
or
don't.
people in general,
Yeah,
it doesn't
your
even have to be a
person.
men and
Which
women thing.
I
but
understand.
Yeah.
I understand it. I'm just
That's
questioning,
true.
like, should you really have
It's
to?
disrespect.
It's a
'Cause
maturity level too. I feel like
Yeah,
like how
definitely.
you're
Yeah,
willing to
totally.
deal with that.
I just feel like I wouldn't want to put my girl in that situation where she's out here like maybe like talking to this girl, not thinking
At a drunk
anything,
night, and then she brings
she
up,
ends
yeah.
up finding out that something happens. Like it's
I
gonna
agree.
make it's gonna
Make
make
her
her
feel
feel
stupid.
some type of way and look
Yeah.
some type of way.
Which I understand.
So
Yeah,
I do understand that.
Which I
but-
understand why you should tell her. But
Yeah.
But it's the same thing of like, that girl had sex with 2 years ago, and now you're gonna be like, she gonna bring that up as the first thing of conversation.
but
Like,
then
that girl is dumb.
no, it's not even bring up, but it's like, what if she just happens to be around us?
Like,
Like,
what if it
it's
happens
fine.
to come into conversation?
And like let's say they're
awkward.
bonding. It's
Yeah,
like
and
it's like
then
damn, should I tell
Maybe
her?
someone was like, yo,
Well,
you know what I mean?
if you because if you're friends with that person, then trust that person to what I'm saying? Like that's just the respect.
If you're friends with
yeah,
that person,
trust.
yeah.
They
Trust,
wouldn't
you
do
have
that
to say
to you.
nothing. Yeah.
If it was some random girl for like
Yeah.
2 years and they started bonding randomly, I would be like, you can't talk to her.
That's different.
No, let me stop.
Nah.
No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do
But
that.
that's
Yes, you
different.
would.
Yeah.
Stop, Solange. Yes, you would.
Talk your shit, Solange. I heard you. Talk
Like,
your
you
shit.
can't talk to her. Why not? Trust.
Trust,
Because
yeah.
I hear that though. I hear that.
Damn it, man, that trust thing.
Yeah. Trust.
What else you got, Dante?
Uh,
Dante's over here sweating now.
I'm not sweating. I'm just thinking.
This has been episodes with 71. Y'all, do y'all have anything?
71, 70.
Anything else y'all
nigga.
want to add before we dip up out of here?
Any plugs y'all wanna add?
I'm
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Plug
sorry.
yourself in.
Nah, plug it in.
Follow me on Instagram at Shelby Petrova. Also, keep up with me and my coalition for what we're going to be doing to school districts. We're filming it at the HV Change Coalition.
Mhm.
And let me say, I do appreciate like people like you who are actually like taking action, and like that's what we need. We need like the younger generation to actually care and take action, and it seems like you're definitely fit to do that. So
She's our
I,
generation.
we
What are you talking
the
about?
Soapbox definitely supports you, and
Thank you.
anything
guys.
you need, we're definitely here
She's our generation.
Thank you.
for sure.
I love you guys.
Oh, you're not gonna. Alright.
What you got to plug in, Solange?
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
What's up, Mr. Bwan?
Mr. Juan.
Yeah, happy Father's Day, Mr.
Happy
sure-
Father's Day to all the
Make
fathers.
sure y'all listen on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. Make sure y'all follow us on the Soapbox. Yo, I'm not even gonna say nothing because they've been quiet at you the whole time. So let me not say
It's been
nothing.
pretty good, yeah.
Yeah. So we out.
Peace.
Peace.